we looked at the 7 different handholds and how that can start taking our basic actions and turning them into more interesting figures. So today we worked on primarily the right hand to right hand hold. So I'm going to borrow Gabby here to demonstrate. So we have 7 handles. We've got handle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right? Not in particular order, there's just 7. Right? What we're going to work on today is this one, right hand to right hand hold. So ways to get into the right hand to right hand hold. As you're doing your basic, you can simply change hands, right? This is very common, very normal way to do this. Another thing you can do, just to put it out there, is that you can do a head loop. Sorry, let me do you guys work. So I can do a head loop, right? And as her hand slides down, I can give her my right hand, right? But the one we worked on today specifically was the man's pass behind the back. So I'm going to do a right turn as the man. So what's going to happen? I'm going to step forward. 1. I'm going to turn the balls of both feet. 2, replace it on my right foot, and at this point I've changed hands, right? Then I'm going to finish turning. 3, and at this point I'm going to have this strange hand hold, all right? Let's come in here so you can see the hands. What's happening here? So we have 1, 2. I'm going to open my fingers, let her hands pivot over my head. 3, okay? From here I've got this hold. So now what I'm going to do, so I've got the right hand to right hand hold, a little different than the handshake, but good enough. So now what's going to happen is I'm going to lead her to an underarm turn to right. So I'm going to do it over here so you can see what happens. So the trick is, in a normal underarm turn to right, I have my left hand and I have to place it over to my left, her right, so that I can guide her into the turn. So when I have a different hand hold, in this case if I've got the right hand hold, what I need to do is make sure that I still place the hand over to her right, so that she can know that it's a turn to right. Yeah? So from this handhold, right, that I've got here, I'm simply going to take the hand up, yeah, and let the hand pivot. So I open my fingers, and the fingers pivot, and we have our handhold. From here, I guide into an underarm turn. So again, what I'm going to do, from here, I'm going to have my underarm turn, or my turn to right. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so it's still the same thing. So as a lady, same thing. Yeah, still have the right hand to right hand hold. Now it's just changed to a more traditional handshake hold. Now I'm going to do the crossbody lead again with the right hand hold, with the right to right hand hold. So as I open up, 1, 2, 3. Nothing happens differently to the feet. She has the exact same position. So it's going to be a little easier for me as the lead because I don't have to keep my left side to her. I can simply open up. Now I'm going to pull her through with the right hand. 5, move overhead, 6, 7. And when I'm done, I can either keep the hand or I can simply drop into my left hand. Okay? I'm going to do this again, looking this direction. So I've got right hand to right hand hold. 1, 2, 3. I pull her through. 5, 6, 7. Okay? The last option we had to wrap this whole thing up was that rather than putting her hand into my left hand, I could do a head loop. So I do it 2 angles. We have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Yeah? So as she finishes coming around, I drop the hand over my head and I pick up her back with my left hand, and we can continue to basic 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Yeah? We do it again. 1, 2, 3. I loop it 5, 6, 7. And then into basic 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Next week we're going to go ahead and practice doing a kumbia basic out of that rather than the forward basic. But for now, just do the forward basic. So, last thing to think about on that head loop, we're going to do it this way, is that as the lead, I don't want to headbutt her, right? So as she comes through, ba, ba, I'm not going to go at her with my head. If I need to get closer to what's going to happen is I'm going to drop her hand over her head, and I'm going to crouch down just a little bit to clear my own head, right? So if we've got a big height difference, I don't want to just yank her hand up to come to me. I'm going to drop myself down to her a little bit, right? But I don't want to come at her like this, because that's when I can nail her in the nose and dance is over. Not so fun anymore, yeah? Thank you. So through all this, ladies, our job is exactly the same. Nothing has changed for us. The basic is still the basic. The underarm turn is still underarm turn. The crossbody lead is still with this hand. So nothing changes for us, yeah? It's going to feel different because he's got a different position, but it should technically be the same actions for us. So we're going to continue with this concept next week. We're going to add a different hand hold and work with some different figures. And we'll work on some dips and drops and things like that. See you next week.